Issues at hand, WBS TV. I see a number of messages coming in to us. Bira says, Chivazo, the agreement was to black out the police. You're actually disappointing me that you have the police on the set. They're benefiting from this. Okay. Okay, Bira. I really think that I thought we would get answers from them. It may be beneficial to them. They may be actually doing a bit of public relations. Kagurusi Stella says, Joseph and Chivazo, can you guys stand up and refuse to cover the police and black them out for a stated period, and we see where they will get their PR? That will come to you, Joseph. Ambrose Barugahari. Ambrose, I'm sorry, I think, okay. Ambrose Barugahari says, Afande Nanga, tell us, what have you done to the officer? Where is he kept? Can we visit him? And how many others that have abused journalists, broken cameras, have been charged and convicted? We'll start at that. That's Kagurusi.
Yeah, Kagurusi, thanks for that question. Actually, beginning yesterday, Kagurusi, we had already registered. We did register a complaint at the Kampala Metropolitan Police Headquarters for assault against the journalist, not only Andrew Rwanga, but also Setimba from Bukede TV. And then we took a few statements. And initially, Andrew had really shown signs that after the incident, he even approached our officers at KMP and also recorded a statement. And at that level, he appeared like he was a little well. And until when his state was a little unstable today in the morning, and we rushed him to Zambia Hospital. But the DPC, Mwesigye Joram, was matched before the director, Kampala Metropolitan, that is Haruna Isabire, Commissioner of Police, and he was stripped and detained immediately. But that also followed.
What do you mean stripped?
Of course, when you're entering cells, you don't go with your ranks. Okay, you leave your ranks behind.
So what does that mean? Does that mean that he's now stripped of those ranks, or is that a temporary measure? As you enter the cells, you leave the ranks at the table. As you get up, you peep again.
No, these are police procedures, okay, that you need to study the police standing orders, the act, and so on. But when a police officer is charged, you don't enter the cells with your ranks. You leave them behind, okay, until when probably you're cleared of the case. And but if you're not cleared, then that marks the end of it. So Mwesigye Joram was detained, but that was immediately after he was suspended administratively by police management. The Director of Human Resource Management, Haji Balimoy, signed the letter immediately because it was something that actually touched the police, and we had really to move in very fast. So he was detained. His statement has been recorded. What is pending is retrieval of the medical form. But we couldn't get to retrieve the medical form because we are still unsure of the status, the condition of Andrew Rwanga until when he's fully recovered, that we can get the police.
Let's get to the history of this. And this is what Kagurusi was mentioning. That to believe you, they need to look at the history of this. Have you charged others, convicted them, or did the investigations fail? Because we've had several compensations for cameras.
Absolutely.
There used to be Chuma cha Yesu here.
They've compensated him about twice before they destroyed his camera again.
And it became a pattern. We knew the police would destroy and compensate, destroy and compensate. Going the full distance of being able to charge was never there.
No, the level of charging them was there. But even with it, with journalists themselves, you go beyond the journalistic point, and they're individuals. And in many of those cases, where journalists have been assaulted or some of their cameras damaged and so on. So there have actually been situations where there has been an understanding out of court whereby they have offered to seek some element of compensation as individuals, okay? And that has been happening. The records are there. We can dig them out and get to let you know.
Okay.
Did you trade off your freedoms for bit compensations?
That's quite a difficult one. One, like you said rightly, there's a history of all this. And before even we get to the issue of compensation, I disagree with Afande Fred Enanga, my brother here, when he says there has been a formal charge and stuff like that. Let's go back in time, Peter. You got into practice way before me. Let's talk about some of the commanders that made their names for torturing. I want to use that word. They created reputations of being serious. We call them tear gas masters in the media industry. You know why, for example, at some point, or because combined with other reasons, Afande Norman Musinga, who made a comeback to the city as the traffic boss now. You know his relationship with journalists at CPS when he was commanding that area. For example, you know before Afande Turiagamanawe.
They dumped my friend Siraja Rubama in cells and never charged him.
And he's back. He's still, now, there's Afande Grace Turiagamanawe. When he was commandant of Kampala Metropolitan, Peter, you know the reputation he had.
When they arrested Chiza Besigye, Afande Grace Turiagamanawe sprayed me like
absolutely
at the steps of CPS
Central Police Station.
I was there.
Yeah. What happens after that?
One and sprayed straight into my face.
What happened? What happens after that? Afande Fred here will agree with me that Turia made a brief visit to Karamoja. He was posted, they seemed like they had pushed him to a dry part of the country. What happens after that? Turiagamanawe makes a comeback. Afande Turiagamanawe, he's now promoted and is made director of operations. And that is what we are really questioning. We are saying, just be honest with us and tell us, do you really support the clobbering of our fingers and our pens, the breaking of our legs, or you want to hoodwink the country that actually you're doing investigation when you're not? Let Afande Fred here be honest with the country and say, have you really been consistent in dealing with these errant officers? And I was really amused today when I'm
reminded of an Afande Muhebwa who commandeered dogs to bite a journalist here straight.
Absolutely, and so the history is really bad. And so when this happened, when Afande Mwesigye's incident happened, you know what Afande Kawesi was quick to say? We are going to handle him as an isolated case. But trust me, that gentleman is a commandant of an entire division of the police, okay? He is not an AIP or a simple sergeant or a junior officer. Now, when things like that happen, you clobber us, you break our fingers, you break our cameras, and we are seeing a consistent trend of investigation shall be done. The next year, we are seeing another clobbering. It really gets people agitated. That's why when we decide to take to the roads without seeking their permission, where does the police get from the moral authority to tell us to respect the law? When a senior police officer, first of all, tells one of us that I am going to shoot you if you don't stop covering, then goes ahead and clobbers him into coma. And then when this boy is in coma, what does Afande Mwesigye do? He carries him into detention until the RPC comes to intervene. And so where do you get from the moral authority to ask the country to actually play to the rules when the officers in uniform are actually the worst at it? That's really what baffles me.
A very quick gutted response. And viewers, you can join the show. We're going to display our numbers. You can call into the set. I see already about 34 missed calls. People are trying to reach us. And my production team, if I can have the comments of Afande Andrew Kawesi also just now. Very quick response to Joseph. Joseph feels... Okay, I'll have that run.
In a nutshell, we wish to retaliate my earlier statement that we really do express deep apology for the action of the officer. To all of you, the media fraternity, we have not yet known the motive, but his action is entirely a personal misconduct, and we cannot institutionalize it. we have taken the following measures as the police force. 1, IGP has suspended him with immediate effect. Number 2, he has ordered for full investigations of the criminal elements in it so that he faces full charges of the law. How do who commanded them to tear gas?
The officer was dying. We didn't order for tear gas in the fund.
Okay, we are now also going to find out what exactly happened. But if it was an order from him, he's going to equally face the same. The same like Mwesije is facing.
Yes, I've heard Afande Kawesi. And I need to ask you before I take the call. Do you think you have a public relations problem as the police?
Basically, like in any organization, there is not anything like, of course, a problem with PR. There will be those individual traits in behavior and so in every individual. Even here at WBS, of course, there are those cases of indiscipline. You've sacked officers here before. Why do you do that? But does it mean that the management here is not responsible enough? It's not the case. So
let me take this call. Sorry, I lost them already. The other thing is, one, you say that you do not think that you have a general PR problem. Why is it that when these things happen, the public never seem to trust enough that you're going to return the right result for this? Because they think, well, the police is going to say these things and then it will happen again and again and again. Why does it become a pattern?
No, but there's been actually change. And I just want to say that this one incident has been a setback to us. At the level that we've been relating actually with the media, giving accountability, giving them information on whatever police action. We've charged so many officers for cases of indiscipline. Those ones whom we've taken to the criminal courts, those ones we've taken to the civil courts. The public themselves, the IGP has been moving out. Any complaints against police officers, you've been covering these. He has suspended them. Action has been taken. The professional standards unit has been working very, very, very hard to ensure that we discipline our officers.
Lindiwe says, Kiwazo, actually the problem is you journalists. These police, once in a while, will abuse a journalist and you'll cry out. Truth is, they've been doing this to politicians, they've been doing this to market people, they will do this to the taxi park people and abuse them. And because it is not, unfortunately, your message ends there, Lindiwe. But I think he says possibly because it is not us, we haven't been crying. This is the pattern of the police. They say it is only because you attacked a journalist that we are crying out. This is the public's perception.
No, but...
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, good evening.
Huh?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
We are fine. Your question or comment?
Yes, to talk to Mr. Enanga. Hello?
Yes, we can hear
we're
you.
listening.
Sometime back you arrested someone. They told us. Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Enanga on his state, when he was giving a state release, he said that they arrested that gentleman because he did not police and open his gate. Whereby they can, and the people from the media say that his gate at 8 and for open his gate at
I'm sorry, your line is breaking and we can't quite pick up everything. But of course, one of those he's saying is talking about the incident today. He's saying that you're indeed saying that the journalists didn't notify you. An earlier message that came in during the break says, yes, they didn't notify you, but the amount of, the number of men you had on site, wouldn't it be able, instead of stopping, wouldn't that number of men be able to just cordon off and ensure that they are delivered to where they are going instead of reverting into brutal force?
Yeah, Chibanza, that's what I actually had explained. I didn't say that it was because the police protection wasn't there. But I was also saying that it is also in order that journalists, just like any other citizens, you need to inform the police about whatever activities it is that you're planning. Now, in case you didn't have the police protection and anything happened, we also would take the blame. But then when it reached at Ginger Road, that is where, again, the DPC of Ginger Road also came out because the procession was getting through there. And one of the officers, who was not, one of the officers actually let off the tear gas canister without even listening to the command. There was no command that was given that tear gas should be applied. They engaged the journalists and eventually clearance was given, but after a mistake, a terrible mistake from our officer. Now, we've taken that action because these are things that shouldn't happen, okay? But then what probably some members may not know about what happened yesterday, the journalists were not attacked. The journalist Andrew Lwanga was not attacked because of protester violence. This was a case of overreaction by an individual. Now, the circumstance was that as the DPC who was working with Andrew Lwanga in covering the demonstration, the protesters, the DPC trips and falls down. Now, he was covered by journalists, and other journalists even laughed at him. Now, that is...
Which is not criminal.
Which is not criminal. Now, and that is why we are castigating him, because as a DPC, he went beyond. Shouldn't have they laugh at us every day here, you make fun of me on, but do I really get to that point of getting to... I'm on Zunguru every now and then, Kandolindo. The people make fun of me as a PRO, but do I really need to go to the studio and get to fight them? Now, this is where we are saying that it was wrong for the DPC, because he was laughed at, to get a stick and cane somebody,
actually not
willfully, knowing that it was a criminal.
But hold here. Your weapons, because the wire cannot have been procured because the police officer fell. This tells you of the mindset. Because the cable he was using, if I can have that picture, is a premeditated one, already acquired. Are these weapons that you supply as the police, that you use? Because he can't have projected that I will fall, therefore I will need this nature of assault weapon to assault the journalists. He had it premeditated. Now, assuming that this Mwesigye indeed was high-handed, he acted out of anger and whatever emotions, I want to do that as a given. The subsequent reaction. Why do the rest, after he's whipped the journalist, pick him up and put him in a cell? Because it is not an individual action if you look at the pictures. After that process, look at that. After that, the journalist is picked up by more than one officer, put in a Mark II that is not a police vehicle, and taken to police and dumped in a cell.
Just Peter, before that, there's a clip that happened before that. This Afande actually goes for away from dumping somebody who was in a poor state of health in cell. If you see the general behavior of the gentleman whom Afande Enanga's police administration decided to put in command, he went for a number of protesters using his private vehicle, by the way, not with the police number plate. He actually attempted to knock them, and those three people jumped. Yes, well. And those three people jumped away. And so for me, the question I was asking actually, many people will say, okay, you're saying a lot because you're a journalist. But I sat down yesterday and asked myself, how many innocent Ugandans are arrested when they are sick and dumped into the police cells. It's actually, the debate actually goes beyond that, just the journalists, because I'm asking myself, what happens to Anno Kelo from Gulu, who is arrested in Kampala
On Main Street in
on
Gulu.
Main Street without
Look at
the
those
camera?
pictures.
Just
Look
look
at
at
that.
those pictures.
Look at that.
And these are the gentlemen who are seconded to command, to senior positions in the force.
And we're not dealing with an
what does
individual
that-
there, by
yes.
the way. If I can have that picture.
There,
back.
there are more police officers
You
coming
have
out of that
several
vehicle.
police officers
It
in
is
the
not
vehicle.
marked as a police vehicle, and it probably, if you wanted to arrest somebody as a senior police officer, someone would resist entering a vehicle like that. Is that the method of work that is appreciated by the police force in this country? The men and women in uniform who are supposed to be the people who guide the common citizens. That's actually a bigger question, away from the journalist who was dumped unconscious into a police cell. Is it allowed to chase suspects, people who are presumed innocent, until proven guilty beyond
There we
reasonable
are.
doubt, in a private car, and you go for them head on, actually trying to knock them? There's a bigger
Look at
problem.
the chess. Look at the chess. Is that still an individual's action, or is that now the police acting? Fred.
Yeah, now, of course, when you look at the footage, this is an officer who has already erred, who has overreacted. He has now found himself in a situation where...
Can you hold so I take two callers? I'm sorry, callers. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to you. How are you?
We're fine. How are you? Your name, question, or comment?
This WBS, yeah?
Sure.
So, this WBS,
Yes, you're on WBS. Your question or comment?
so I wanted to ask that full police officer whether I don't know whether whether those officers, but if they are seeking for other promotions or what, the way they are behaving to journalists and other people around.
Okay.
That's just my own.
Thank you. He's asking, is this a way of getting them promoted? And Banage Kavuma says, isn't this the way the police treats everyone else usually? You respond to that. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
No, Moses. I'm calling from Hoima.
Yes, Moses. Hello, Moses.
Hello.
Yes, go right ahead.
I'm Moses calling from Hoima.
Yes.
For sure, I'm really shocked with the Uganda police force. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm saying I'm really shocked with the Uganda police.
Mm.
Where they trained from for sure? Eh? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm saying they tell us that police is there to keep law and order and they are the most disciplined people. But where they train from for sure? Eh? Those are not Ugandans. They are
Okay, he categorizes them as terrorists. Zura says, Chivazo, let Afande Nanga tell us where Arinaitwe Bwana is, and then you will see the true character of the police. If this is Zura, I think this is Zura, the journalist. Hello? Yes, please. Hello, you're my last caller for the evening. Your question or comment? Yes, how is the Singiro? Mm. Yes, tukuwulira. Okay, thank you. The last caller, I think, hits on something that is very pertinent. The police is acting out of emotion and anger. He says you have welled in emotion and anger against the people that you're supposed to protect. And he's asking why.
No, but globally, you know that there is a lot of increase. There's an increase in the level of communal violence, where we are seeing the public as well engaging law enforcement officers. It's happening. The other day it was in the America, in the Middle East, and wherever. You really see that level of citizen activism where they really get out. So citizen violence is not only new to Uganda. You've seen a lot of them come out with cold weapons. We lost an officer who was hit with a brick. And we're also getting fatalities where policemen are actually attacked. And now what even hurts us, even when you come to dispersing a demonstration like what happened at Namirembe, where Andrew was covering, of course, you've cautioned the public and told them, please, this demonstration is illegal. And then somebody wants to march beyond the police. I mean, what...
I want to hear the therefore. And therefore, we hit you for them.
Yes, because it is provided for. The laws are there. It is clearly indicated.
Come again?
What
Yes,
exactly
it
is provided
for?
Yeah, it is provided for that once...
That hitting?
Fred,
No,
then
no,
explain.
no,
Why have
no.
you been taking us through the hour, through explanations of remorse, purgation,
You know,
and then finally you tell
Chibazo, the
us
problem
that it
you're
is actually
having
provided
is that you're already
for?
emotional.
Yes, I am,
Allow me
and
to
I am
explain
not
what
going
I'm
to apologize for
explaining.
that
We have
today.
always cautioned the rioters and warned them under the laws of Uganda and telling them that this procession, this demonstration is illegal.
Do you make a distinction,
and
Fred,
the
do you
laws
make
go
a distinction
ahead to
between
indicate
riot
that,
and demonstration?
for those who have failed to disperse under the laws of Uganda, the police will be able to use any form of violence
Reasonable
to
force.
ensure that you disperse.
I thought the
from here.
Constitution said
And that is
reasonable
how
force,
we start
Afande.
getting to use the tear gas. But now, if you're engaging,
And reasonable force includes the pictures that we've been looking at.
now this was
using
not,
a vehicle
this-
to
this-
crush
this-
journalists.
Now,
Yes.
this was not protester violence. Okay, I've indicated to you that the way that our officer Mwesige Joram, out of the shameless act where he fell down and overreacted and chased the journalist and hit him, that was an individual, you know, the character, the upbringing.
Joseph, your last shot as we get out of
All right,
this.
I mean,
It is not something
my
that
message
the
is really
police
to the press fraternity in this country, that for once, let's get serious. It has been business as usual. We are hit, we make noise for a few days, we go back, and we have actually been very romantic in the way we deal with issues of abuse. And very many people say, okay, it's not me who has been touched. I am saying today it is Andrew, tomorrow it will be Chibazo, the next day it will be the next person. But my message to the leadership, to the management of the Uganda Police Force is this. This press statement and the suspension and everything is not what we are going to take. We will be watching how you handle Afande Mwesige in the next few days, and I want to call upon my colleagues that let's not relent. We need to push this matter. I actually support the criminal proceedings against him already. We should pursue it to the letter and make sure that it stops being used business as usual, really.
Thank you very much, Afande Fred.
You've not allowed me to
Okay,
conclude.
your parting shot.
That is, you see, Chibazo, from the very beginning, you've really not, you know.
No, I've allowed you all the
Yes,
time.
thank you. Actually, I want to reiterate again to the community, the public, the members of the media, that let's all rally behind Andrew, and let's also make follow-up on this case, the criminal case, and ensure that it reaches that logical conclusion where we see an officer punished. We don't want again to see this instance where again you find people moving behind and getting to withdraw a case at whatever
And
level
negotiating
so on.
and cutting deals.
Yes, because we are there to want to see the officer really punished.
Thank you very much, Fred. I know it isn't the best of times to be invited on a set as a PRO of police. It is not one of those moments that anyone would want, and I can understand why my friend Afande Andrew Kawesa wouldn't make the show tonight. Viewers, ultimately, we keep our eyes on the deck, and certainly for the journalists, we are not going to stop. We are not going to stop. We will be there. We will still bring you the worst of the pictures. Sometimes they are going to be horrible. Even instances with us as media, and we're going into that year of action. Brace ourselves, and we pray that we are able to do this and do it again and again and again. Good night.